Hi, this is Chico Resch. You are listening to the Let's Go Devils podcast on the Primetime Radio Network.
Happy Devils Tuesday! Welcome to Game Day Live, presented by the Let's Go Devils Podcast Network and the Primetime Radio Studios, along with Anchor Brew. My name is Vinnie, Parise, and I am here with my good friend Short Sky as we are getting ready for New Jersey Devils hockey as they are getting ready to take on the Toronto Maple Leafs. It is Game 6 of the season for the New Jersey Devils, and Short Sky, we're on a 4-game heater. What's that all about?
I don't know, but I love it. I was at 2 of those 4, and it was phenomenal to finally be at 2 really good wins. It felt like forever since I've been to an opening day win, and then to see it again against the Edmonton Oilers. Boy, was that great.
You know, we talked about this already, and I'm going to scream it till the cows come home. They don't play the Hurricanes well in Carolina. Okay, that's well established. We've talked about that a thousand times. That doesn't take away from the fact that they're one of the most talented rosters in the National Hockey League right now. They have a 2-headed monster down the middle. I challenge anyone to give me a definitive, better 1-2 punch down the middle of the ice besides McDavid and Draisaitl. Only a fool would say that they're not the best in the NHL. McDavid and Draisaitl, 1-2 punch down the middle. I'm not saying there aren't others around the league that are equal to Hischier and Hughes, but a pair that's just better, I'm not feeling it. I'm not seeing it.
Yeah, it's they're 2 of the best I think we've ever seen. Definitely McDavid is one of the best, if not the best we've ever seen. And then just to pair that up with Draisaitl, it's players that were there at the same time, and here they are again with it. And then you even go a little bit deeper. You know, you've got Nugent Hopkins there, who was another first overall pick, who's like, I think on any other team would be a superstar, just a superstar for that team, and he's third fiddle at best. On an Edmonton team that's just stacked.
Yep.
So yeah, it was one of those things where we talked to Chico beforehand. It's like it's a dangerous team. You can't give them chances, can't give them power plays, which we did give them 3. But then our penalty kill just kind of stood up and did its job. And, here we are, going into Toronto, 4-game heater, and looking to make it 5.
Absolutely. And the Maple Leafs, you might recall in the 22-23 season, were the team that ended the 13-game heater back then. So they're going to be looking to do a little more of the same. I got to say, last night, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. walks into Game 7 of the ALCS wearing an Austin Matthews jersey, and they win. Yeah. I don't love that Austin Matthews reciprocated and is wearing a Vladimir Guerrero Jr. jersey into the stadium today for the New Jersey Devils taking on the Toronto Maple Leafs now. Hopefully it's a little bit of a different outcome this time around, because getting that 5th win in a row after going 0-1 to Carolina, I think that would really solidify. Not that losing would take away the way I feel about the team. The Maple Leafs are a real good team too. I just think winning 5 in a row and being 5-1 and tied with the Hurricanes after the first 2 weeks of the season would go a long way in confidence and belief that they can be in the upper echelon of the league.
Yeah, I think it would be great to go 5 in a row, and you're right. It's we're still early in the season, so we can go 5-0 now, or 5 in a row now, and then we may not win 2 in a row the rest of the season. So we kind of have to keep it. This is a great start. We just got to see a consistent Devils team and consistent Devils hockey and winning Devils hockey all the way through the season. But yeah, it would still be great to go 5-0, especially with the Edmonton Oilers and the Toronto Maple Leafs and the Florida Panthers being part of that. You also can't forget the Blue Jackets, who are going to potentially be a playoff team this year in the Metro. Or in the East, I should say, whether it's through the Metro or through the wild card. So, it's been good teams, all throughout this. And just adding another one tonight would be great. But, tomorrow's definitely going to be another test as well. But we got to get through tonight, and a very familiar back-to-back is ahead of us over the next 2 days.
And does who New Jersey's opponent is kind of give you a little bit of not their opponent, but who they've beaten so far this year? I'm like ecstatic about it. They've beaten the Oilers. Um, who was right before that? Oh, the Florida Panthers, the last two Stanley Cup
Yep.
finalists, back-to-back years. I'm like, I knew the Devils have beaten some good teams so far this year. Going out there and just take the Lightning.
Yeah, I forgot
They've
about
been
that
really
too.
good. They
I
beat the
just realized
Lightning.
that.
Like they're topping some real good teams, and for a team loaded with talent, and I know the bottom six was kind of an issue last year. I think that kept them from getting to that
Hmm.
that 100-point mark, being that truly dominant Eastern Conference power. They were a playoff team. They were good, but I think that bottom six is wildly improved with Connor Brown and Gritsuk, and we haven't even really seen the fruits of the labor of Dadnov yet. We'll get that back eventually, but I
Hmm.
mean, this team is markedly better than it was a year ago, especially in the bottom six. And I know people don't want to hear it, but Nico Hischier, Jack Hughes, Jesper Bratt, these guys are still kind of developing a little bit, especially Jack Hughes.
Yeah.
Jack is 24 years old. He's not even close to what you would call like his true prime yet. I think that has to be taken into accountability or into consideration because it's not another year older. You could start saying another year older when guys get into their mid 30s. When you're in your early 20s, it's another year better. And that's where we're at right now with this team.
Yeah. And what's even better is the fact, what these guys are signed for, they're all growing into their prime together. And when you have a team that's growing into its prime together and playing together and knowing each other very well, it's such a great thing. And I can't remember his age. I'm looking up how old Timo Meyer is because he's really not much older.
I believe he's 29. He's the McDavid draft.
Okay. But even still, 29. Even still at 29, he's still, Timo Meyer still got a lot of good years, so he's gonna come into it, and grow with this, with this core. And I just think that's such a good thing for this team and for us as fans. Like this is gonna be one of those things where, we're gonna be looking at successful New Jersey Devils teams for a long time, and especially, people like you, people like Brooke, who don't know what success is in New Jersey. You weren't around for the 95, 2000, 2001, 2003, and that constant success from 94 on. Let's forget about 96. But yeah, I think we're going into another one of those periods of time where it's like, man, it's just going to be a constant, always in the mix, always a potential cup winner, and just always in the playoffs. And it's going to be a fun ride, and we should just enjoy it because we all know what happens afterwards. The last couple of years is that example. So if that is in fact the case, that we're going to see this core take us into this promised land, so to speak, and just to be perennial cup favorites, perennial playoff teams, and have a second winning era. Brooke just said she completely missed the winning era. Yeah, you guys did, but let's start another winning era with this core that we have right here, and you guys can all enjoy it and know what it's like to have a dominant Devils team.
Yeah, absolutely. I do remember 2012 quite fondly. But then 11 was bad the year before. But then before that, 10, 9, those were fun. 13 is when really things started to fall off the bridge. And then there were like 3 rebuilds in there between Ray Shero and Tom Fitzgerald. One of them was more like trying to piece together the remnants of the 2012 team. The next one was the Taylor Hall rebuild. And then in 2021, I think Tom Fitzgerald realized that they needed a retool and build around Hischier and Hughes at that point. But yeah, and you touched on Timo Meyer, who is also proof that Tom Fitzgerald is willing to make moves. They don't always work. It's still a work in progress. But the Devils are willing to spend money. They're willing to make trades, big trades. Every team wanted Timo Meyer. Vegas wanted Timo Meyer. Carolina wanted Timo Meyer. he looks like the player they traded for so far this season. I don't know if it's
Yeah.
a health thing. I don't know if it's a mindset thing. I don't know if it's a year two in Sheldon Keefe's system thing, but Timo Meyer looks awesome. And that would be huge if you can definitively say he's New Jersey's fourth best forward and part of the core of players.
Yeah. He's scoring early, and I catch flack almost weekly on Hockey on Tap for the Timo Meyer contract. And let's not even to mention that I had to hear Billy Dean uh, just say, "Oh, this is boring hockey," like the whole game on Saturday. But they always give me crap for that Timo contract. But I think especially with this, with the way he's playing right now, and the way the cap is going to go up, and players like him are going to get, probably upwards of 10 to 12 million, and we've got him locked up for 8. He's going to be a steal. And with him scoring early, let's keep it. Let's go early and often, and just keep it going all season long.
Absolutely, and even Timo Meyer, like, he hits, he's physical, he's hard to play against, he's dirty in front of the net. If he scores 25 goals, which would be like, a mid-year for him, well,
Yeah.
I think like last year, those are $8 million players now with the cap going up. So it'll never really be a bad contract, just simply due to the fact that the cap's going up, and he'll always be at minimum an $8 million player. If he can play like a $12 million player, kind of like he is right now, then that's when the Devils win 4 in a row and look like one of the best teams in the NHL. And you got Jack Hughes and Heischer doing their thing down the middle. It's really good to see. I have a question, though. Did you remind Billy Dean that if you take away the first minute of their 4th home game, they have 0 goals scored at home?
Oh, of course.
Just wondering.
Of course.
I mean,
of course.
I'm not one to overreact to a couple weeks, because that's what it is. The season's 2 weeks old. Nobody has missed the playoffs yet. While the Sharks and Flames are out, their season's already cooked. But nobody has made the playoffs yet. I firmly believe that. Friedman did say on 32 Thoughts that I think like 90% of teams that are more than 4 points out of a playoff spot on November 1st, not even Thanksgiving anymore, we're talking November 1st.
Yep.
Those teams almost completely guaranteed to make playoff, or guaranteed to not make playoffs if you're more than 4 points out. I think Montreal last year was the exception, and I forget, there was another recent example. Maybe the Blues in 2019 when they won the Stanley Cup. Those, they do happen. Nobody's fully out of it, but you always want to be winning. You want to be getting these points early and stay in the race all season long. It's very, very important. I think that, in order for this team to keep it going, they're going to need Jake Allen. And we know what happened to Markstrom. Tough, but I do think he'll be back, and it's early in the season. He's got plenty of time to get himself right. Jake Allen's been sensational. He's one of the best goalies in the NHL, and I'm curious what you think about it.
Yeah, a lot of it I want to say is Jake Allen felt responsible for what happened with Markstrom for having to come out of that game, which leads to Markstrom's injury. Jake Allen is trying to shoulder the burden of having to win and to play well until Markstrom comes back, and I think that's a great thing. And he has that ability, and we're going to see Dawes one of these 2 games. So let's get ready to see Dawsey in net. I'm going to assume it's going to be tomorrow, but you never know. And Jake Allen just needs to keep doing what Jake Allen is doing and win. Just win. A lot of people complained about his contract this summer. And he's, I hate to make this comparison because it's like comparing gold to poop. But he's people complained about his contract, and we're seeing a lot of older goalies do very well. I mean, unfortunately, look what the Blue Stains over across the river did with Jonathan Quick last year. Jonathan Quick was a big reason why they had some success. And we're seeing that again we're seeing that with Jake Allen right now, and that's the one thing that we're looking at. Um, Goalies can now play well into their mid 30s and upper 30s, and we were looking at the free agent goaltenders last night, or not last night, Sunday on the Big Show. Jacob Markstrom is one of the top free agent goaltenders going into this season, into this offseason, which is why they're working on that contract extension now. But a lot of those top goalies that are going to be UFAs are in their 30s. They're early to mid 30s. So, sports science, sports medicine has been, a wonder. The Devils got to do a little bit something with theirs so that they can keep these players from being injured or getting cramps. I'm going to complain about that for a while. But Jake Allen's doing what Jake Allen has to do, and that's what you want in a backup. That's why you pay the guy what you paid him. And, he's doing his job, and I'm very happy.
Me too. 1.88 goals against average, which has Jake Allen ranked second in the NHL. And then he's ranked fifth in save percentage with a .934 save percentage.
Love it.
So, yeah, we'll see how that goes. Obviously, you're right. You are probably going to see Nico Dawes in one of the two games. I'm going to try and confirm this right now. I do believe it is Allen tonight. It is how I would go. Not that the Wild are, bad by any means. The Wild are a pretty good hockey team. But, I'm more in line of like giving the backup the second game. And more than I am like thinking about matchups. So,
yeah, and on top of that, and I like that idea too with Jake Allen going tonight, especially because he played in Montreal, and Montreal and Toronto were a big rivalry, so he's used to this atmosphere. He's used to playing in Toronto. Not to say that Dawes wouldn't be able to handle it, but Dawes played in front of the one game he played with Utica. They had 3,000 in the stands at home for It was like a 1-0 loss. So Dawes has got I think Dawes would be more. It would be better for him to give him a friendly first start at home.
Absolutely. And then you got Anthony Stolarz in net for the Toronto Maple Leafs, obviously, without Mitch Marner. They still have all their usual suspects, minus Marner, with their top line has Matthew Nyes and Max Domi flanking Austin Matthews, Matthias Michelli and William Nylander flanking John Tavares. On defense is markedly better than it's been with McCabe, Tanev, Carlo, Ekman Larson. So it's a good Maple Leafs team. Is there anything about them that you want to touch on before the Devils take them on?
Yeah, Stolarz was not happy about that overtime loss against Seattle. He was that game-winning goal. He spoke out against about his team, basically giving a guy a breakaway in 3-on-3 or 4, whatever it is, 3-on-3, 4-on-4 play. I can't remember. I'm drawing a complete blank. He's not. He was not happy. So they're coming off a loss as well, which they didn't like. And Toronto, Toronto's one of those weird enigmas. They'll do very well, and we all know their history in the playoffs. But they are another strong team. And you bring up again, they broke our streak last time, so now they're going to come in with some confidence, going, "Hey, we did it. We did it one time. Let's do it again." So it's going to be tough to. Tough sledding up there. And I have seen on social media, there's a couple Devils fans that have gone up there, which I think is phenomenal. And if it wasn't a midweek game, I would go up too. But, I just can't, get off enough work. I have to take off a day for something in December. I can't remember what it is. But, I can't just use my days to go to Devils Toronto up there in Canada. But, yeah, it's going to be a good time, and cheers to all those fans that have gone up there and that are checking the away game, because those aren't easy tickets to get either.
No, not at all. And you reminded me they played Seattle on Saturday, the Leafs.
Mm-hmm.
What are the odds that the schedule makers of the NHL put the two markets that end up meeting in the American League Championship Series playing each other in hockey on the same night? I mean, I doubt that's ever happened. Like, that's nuts. I'm like, do the Kings and the Blue Jays, or do the Kings and the Leafs play anytime soon? A little World Series NHL action at the same time. That's not here nor there. People don't care about baseball in the chat. I mean, maybe they do. Speaking of the chat, Shorts guy.
Yeah.
I want everyone in there If you're on YouTube, throw your predictions in the chat right now. I'm going to read them all of them. I'm not going to miss one. I might miss one. Short Sky will catch it, though. I'm going to read them all live on air. You got to put them, though, for me to read them. I need to know what you're thinking is going to happen in tonight's game between the Devils and the Maple Leafs. If you put it earlier in the show, put it again so I can have them all lined up nice and neat. Joey points out I'm not in my car, and that's refreshing to see. Buddy,
Yes.
you have no idea. You have no idea. I know. I agree. I don't think I'll be in my car for a podcast for at least a couple days. The Hawks don't play at home till Sunday, so I don't have to be at the United Center for my reporting until then.
Is it a night game or a day game on Sunday?
It is a night game.
And
so I
Devils
will
play
be
at
doing
1?
the Devils, yeah. You want to know when I might be doing it? I might not be able to do it at all. I'm going to try, though. I really want to because that's my favorite day of the year, one of the Frozen Frenzy.
Yeah.
That's going to be tough, though. The Devils are on the road in Colorado, and the Blackhawks are hosting the Brady Tkachuk-less Senators.
Yep.
So that's going to be a crazy hockey day for your boy. So that might either be a car game or a Short Sky Sam episode, but I appreciate people noticing these things. It's nice to do a show not from the car, though. Absolutely. So, Short Sky, while people continue throwing in these predictions into the chat right now, why don't you tell me what you think?
All right. The Devils are coming off 4 big wins, and I think they're going to continue their winning ways. I think Jake Allen's gonna take this. Did I say 3 or 4? Because I saw you holding up 4.
You said 4. I'm just
good.
happy about it.
I'm liable to make that type of mistake. But anyway, 4 straight wins, 2 at home, 1 in the opening night at the home opener at the Rock. Continue their winning ways. Devils are going to win tonight, 3-2.
3-2, eh? Let's see what people are saying in the chat. I know our friend Sam Wu believes that the New Jersey Devils are going to win 6-4. I thought he was going to say 6-7.
Please don't. Oh, I'm just going to unplug now. I hear that crap.
But you know what? You know what, though, Shorts Guy? I understand you hear it all day, though, but that number is like the curse of the Maple Leafs. So, like, if there were a show to do a little 6-7 action, it would be against the Toronto Maple Leafs, who haven't won the Stanley Cup since 1967.
No.
If they win now, you can blame me. And if they lose, you can blame Austin Matthews wearing a Vladimir Guerrero jersey. Brooke Amanda says 3-2 Devils. Katie says 3-1 Devils. She said, "I'm sure your PTO will be worth it, Shorts Guy." I concur.
I just got to remember what that day off's for. I'll consult with Brooke Amanda. She knows. She's
got your calendar memorized.
Yes, she does. She's in charge of the calendar.
I know that world. AJ Visco says 4-3 Devils. Joey B, Devils losing a shootout. 3-3 is the score.
Joey
4-3 loss. Come on, Joey B. We got Jack Hughes and Timo Meyer and Nico Hischier. We're scoring in the shootout. Come on. Select the Boy says 4-2 Devils. Oh my goodness says 2-1 Devils. Eric, that's an awesome way to spell Eric. If I am saying it correctly, I apologize if I'm not. But Devils 3, Leafs 2. They must stay out of the box. They killed good penalties against the much more highly powered. Well, I'm not going to say much more highly powered. Toronto is very highly powered too. I wouldn't want to put them on the power play either. But Edmonton on Saturday. Max says 5-2 Devils. Devil in disguise. Ooh, I like that. 4-3 Devils. Roman says 7-0 Devils. Canadians know nothing about hockey.
Okay.
You know, the Devils are one of those. We're one of the few teams that don't rely on any Canadians. Really, I'm not saying they have none. Of course, they have some. Dawson Mercer.
Jake Allen.
Jake Allen. But like, none of their superstar forwards are Canadian. It's kind of a bizarre. They're one of the only teams who are like that. At least every team mostly has one of their core like stars is Canadian. Dougie Hamilton.
I was just going to say Hamilton.
Dougie Hamilton. But like you think of the main core: Luke Hughes, Jack Hughes, Timo Meyer, Nico Hischier,
Yeah.
Jesper Bratt. There's a
Eurocentric.
lot of Sweden. A lot of Euros, a lot of Americans. So yeah, but there's
I'll take
a
it.
Canadian team in the World Series for the first time in 30 something years. Sherry says Devils better win. Leaf fans think they're a better team this year. It depends on what you think about allocating them, what they did with the money allocating,
Mm-hmm.
where they allocated it in Mitch Marner's place. Corbin says 5-3 Devils. Let's see. Sherry says 6-2 Devils. Survey 4-1 Devils. Joey B's prediction: Vinny has pasta alla vodka. I'm down. Breaking news: I'm coming on Devils After Dark later, so maybe we'll get a little crazy if the Devils win. Sean says 4-3 Devils. Timo Potts 2 tonight. Let's go. Another Joey B prediction: Shorts guy has a Salisbury steak and mashed potatoes for game time meal. I think we're getting into the Irish and Italian stereotypes here a little too much.
Yeah, but I had to debunk that right away because I got a game tonight, so I got to eat relatively light, just like I told Joey B in the chat.
Imagine sitting on the bench with some Salisbury steak and mashed potatoes.
Sitting on the bench, man, I don't get a chance to go to the bench unless there's.
Oh! I didn't know you were playing goalie in this league.
Oh, yep. Oh,
you
yeah.
You don't have any leagues you play. You're a skater in though.
Not anymore. I used to, but just goalie now. And I have.
Even worse. You don't want to be farting in the blue paint like PK
unless it helps defensively. Unless it's going to help defensively.
Yeah, PU. I'm not getting in this guy's grill. Damien says 4-2 Devils. I got one more Joey B prediction. We got to get Sam's in there. Sam Wu has a prime rib sandwich for his game meal. That's amazing. So yeah, I think. Oh, Brian says 2-1 Devils in overtime.
Mm-hmm.
Skinner says 6-5 Devils.
And then surveys 4-1.
Yes. I think I said they put it twice. I think. Okay. Dub says 5-2 Devils. Bratt has a hat trick, so it's a Bratt trick.
I'll take it.
And then Joey amends his, knowing you're playing goalie, saying Shorts guy borrows Chico's old gear to goaltend in beer league. That'd be pretty sweet, actually.
I'd wear it. Cool. You know what? That sounds like a really good promo for us. We got to get Sam on that. I take 100%. Some of Chico's old gear and go out there on the inline rink and see what happens.
Absolutely. Damien predicts that Arseny Gritsuk scores his first career NHL goal. That would be awesome to do in Toronto. And Max says Leafs is not a real word. It's not, but they made it a real word. All words are made up technically, right? A wise man once said. Shorts guy, I'm going to go. I think the New Jersey Devils take care of the Toronto Maple Leafs by a final score of 4-3. Kind of a high-scoring game in my world, but I think the Devils can get it done and, get a big win in Toronto, make it 5 in a row. My cousin Frankie, real big Blackhawks fan on our weekly show, he was saying his hot take for the Blackhawks this year. He doesn't think they're a playoff team, but they will get a 5-game winning streak at some point this year. Well, I would love nothing more than to log in on Wednesday and brag about how I already have a 5-game winning streak by game 6. And he's praying he gets one all season long. So that's kind of what I'm hoping for here today. Let's get a 5-game winning streak. Let's, play well, see all the top guys in the lineup score. Maybe we'll get some depth scoring from a guy like Gritsuk or Connor Brown, who's been great. Keep playing well. Got to get good goaltending from Jake Allen, too. They got some sharpshooters over there in Toronto, especially Austin Matthews, one of the greatest goal scorers of our generation. So that's all for us on this show. I hope everybody enjoyed watching, and I hope you tune in after tonight's show to take in Devils After Dark, where I think Sam Wu, I'm sure I'll be with someone. Maybe I'll be alone, but we're going to be recapping the game that was.
I'll be there, Vinny. I'll be there.
Sam Wu will be there, according to him. You heard it there. It'll be us two breaking down the game that was. Hopefully it's a New Jersey Devils win. Shorts guy, you got one last thought?
I was going to say, and I believe Sam Wu's going to be at American Whiskey tomorrow. So if you're going to go to the Devils game tomorrow, go say hi to Sam Wu tomorrow at American Whiskey.
Say hi to Sam Wu at American Whiskey ahead of the game against the Minnesota Wild. We'll make sure to remind you of that after the game tonight on Devils After Dark when we, like I said, hopefully preview the game or go over the win that was. And as the great Sam Wu invented the saying, he didn't really invent the saying. People have been saying it for 40-something years, but he turned it into a podcast. He turned it into a podcast. That's all him. And we say it every show, no matter what. Let's go Devils.